All right. Welcome, everybody. It's 9:03 a.m. I'll call this meeting to order. Harmony, if you just call roll to confirm a quorum, please.
Director Brems.
Here.
Director Cardenas. Director Daly.
Here.
Director Keegley. Director Olson. Director Peterson.
Here.
Director Prokopis. Director Silvestrini.
Here.
Director Stevenson.
Here. Thank you. Moving to public comments. Do we have any public comments in the room or online today? Seeing none. Go to item 3, which is the UPD update. We're going to hear from Chief Mazarin.
Tear through this because we have. Did I turn that off? Song? Can everybody hear me? Working. Okay. We'll move through these. Got a number of updates for you. A lot of good things happening in the department right now. First thing I want to mention to you is the strategic plan. You all remember you took a test of sorts and wrote down some of your thoughts. We collated that. It's gone back to the committee. We've looked at it, and what I'd like to report, what's interesting is we're broadening this strategic plan out. There are very clear themes that have emerged and very clear areas where we are all thinking the same thing and on the same page. So our committee took that. They met, I believe, last Friday, and we are looking at that to cut those subcategories of those areas down. I will be taking that to the commanders here in the next week or so, probably the next command staff, to go through that and get their input. And at that time, I will bring it back to the board. In other words, the strategic plan is developing and coming along nicely, and there's good progress being made. So I appreciate Lieutenant Manwaring and our committee's efforts on that. That doesn't sound.
Your face. There's no green light on that one. That's why. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you got the controller, turn that one up.
Hello? Is that better?
Okay, we're trying to make sure that we can hear Maz online.
Well, I don't know if that mic works better. Do you want me to do it from there with that?
Yeah, why don't you
That's
try
fine.
that for now? I'll get Kurt down here.
Is that better? Wonderful. Do I need to start over? Let's just keep going. Anyway,
Just keep
strategic
going.
plan's going really well. Thank you, Lieutenant Manwaring, and we appreciate the efforts by that committee. Second thing, we have our swearing in promotion ceremony. We'll get a little more into that later today, but that will be on September 30th. You should have all received an invite. We're looking forward to that. That will consist of some promotions in addition to swearing in some new officers. And that will be here at Mill Creek upstairs on the 6th floor. Is that correct, Harmony? 6th floor? Yeah, so we're looking forward to that, and that'll be a nice event. We'd love to have you there if you're able to make it. Next, some of the things that are happening that I wanted to inform you of. First off, our K9 team recently went to a large competition here in the state, and we're extremely successful. You can see in your packets, there's pictures there and the awards that they received. Our team got second place, top agency narcotics. Other awards like rookie handler, criminal apprehension, narcotics area search, tough dog, rookie handler, patrol building search, on and on. K9 unit did a fantastic job, and that's why they're one of the best K9 units in this state. And they were very successful, received a lot of awards. Now, you may ask the question, I think this is important to point out, okay, it's a competition, but what does that really mean? Well, what that means to me, and what I want to share with you, is that when we go to those competitions and we have to show our skill sets and what our capabilities are in front of outside evaluators, that judge and look to see if we're legitimate or not, and if we're capable. It really tells you the caliber of canine unit that we have, because those kind of skills are things that directly translate to the operations and the safety in your cities and your communities. So when you have people that are doing successful work in these competitions, that has a direct correlation to how effective they are operationally. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's important to share that. Along with that, our pistol team just competed this week in the Utah Sheriff's Association State Convention down in St. George. They took the first place trophy, beat everybody they competed against, and did a really fantastic job. The trophy, it was too quick to be able to put it in your packets, but a great picture of them holding this enormous trophy. And again, what does that mean? Well, a lot of the folks that are in that group are our firearms instructors and on our tactical team, and teach our other officers firearms skills. And so again, very successful in that competition, but it has a direct correlation to their effectiveness in terms of our police operations and the safety of your communities. So we're really happy for them. I want to talk really quickly too.
Chief,
Yes, please.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
So I'm assuming that the sheriff's firing range is still available?
Yes.
Canyon?
In fact, we are currently using that. So that is a county-wide facility. We still have those relationships. They've been very accommodating to us. In the last few weeks, we're currently conducting our fall qualifications, and we are using that range. There are some problems up at the range in terms of, and this is nothing you have to worry about, but a couple of the ranges are down and require some additional maintenance. Essentially they're shot to pieces. So the county's working on doing that. But my point in bringing that up is they've been very good about being accommodating to us and helping us get range time up there when we need it. So we are still using that range, but we're also looking at, any range that we need to use or any facility because we have a lot of people and we got to get them through those critical testing procedures. So, but yeah, that's a good question. The other thing I want to point out for the last couple months, I'm really grateful and happy to our motor unit, and I appreciate the updates from Lieutenant Barker from Special Operations. But our motor unit has been getting together. All of your motors from all of the cities come together and do these saturation patrols in your school areas, crossing walks, speed enforcement, and those have been very effective. And so I'll get these emails from Lieutenant Barker about what they've done, where they've been, and the results that they're putting up. And I wanted you to know that that is very successful, especially, when you get that many motors in one small area and they do a saturation, it really generates a lot of violations, but it's a good time to educate also. And it sends a really clear message: don't speed in this school zone. So appreciate our motors and their efforts there. A lot of good things happening. The next thing, we've talked in the past about our PIOs all coming together and developing those communication strategies and messaging for all of our communities. And the next PIO meeting is being scheduled right now. I think it'll be in 2 or 3 weeks, but Sergeant Race has done a good job putting that together. So I just wanted to make you aware that your PIOs will be meeting again to continue that effort in terms of messaging and public relations. So we are still advancing that initiative forward. And I'll tell you, we're going to have a Halloween party. Some people have been concerned that we're not. That's a big deal to our folks. And so we are working on putting together a Halloween party here in October. So when I figure out how that's going to work, I will let you guys know if you want to come attend that. We're going to start our own kind of new tradition. As you remember, we always went down to SOB here. And we're going to do our own thing and figure out what that looks like. That's really important to our employees. It's really important to morale. So we will be putting that together, and I'll let you know when that's going to happen. Just in case you're worried that we're not having a Halloween party. Some of you are concerned about that. The next thing that I want to present to you is Heidi. Heidi Reno from our forensics unit. Do you notice I pronounced that correctly? Reno. And I wanted her to share with some of you. You remember we talked about the microscope last time and you guys made that approval. Well, I want her to update you on some of what's happening with our forensics unit. We can't do it without these folks. We can't solve some of these, especially these serious crimes, without them. And I should point out that this week is Forensics Week. There's a week for everything. Well, this week is Forensics Week, and we celebrated by giving him a card and bringing him some treats and things like that to show our appreciation. But I would love to have you, Heidi, share some of what we discussed.
Look at this, it's perfect size for me. Thank you guys for letting us recognize two of my analysts. So the first one is analyst Heather Bowles. You'll stand up just for a minute. There she is. She recently obtained her bloodstain certification from the International Association of Identification. She's been doing this, I feel like, forever. She's put in so much work. She completed numerous hours of instruction, presented a research project, and demonstrated proficiency in this specialty. She is one of the only 3 bloodstain certified analysts in Utah, and there's only approximately 60 of them worldwide. So it's a very cool accomplishment that she's done. Next we have Next, we have analyst Adam Kalinowski. There he is. He just last week graduated from the ATF's National Firearms Examiner Academy. Mouthful. This academy was a year-long training. He's been gone for a year, back to Maryland, here presenting, doing case studies. He's just put in so much work for this. He's now qualified to be an apprentice and an entry-level examiner. He'll now start working on UPD cases, firearm cases, which is utilizing that state-of-the-art microscope that you guys approved last board meeting. Having this firearm examiner on our team will streamline and expedite the rate of which these cases are solved. So we're excited for Adam to get back and see what he's going to do with all this expertise that he obtained. So thank you, guys. Yes, in the state too. There's only a handful of examiners in the state. So it's going to be, we're competitive with, Salt Lake City has one, West Valley has one, and now we have one. So.
Great. So I think that's fantastic, and I appreciate forensics and all their work. But again, highlighting some of these things that are happening in the department. We're working hard. We're moving forward. And we have some really good things going, but also we have people that are really, really good at their job. And I want you guys to know that your police department is not just there, but they're good at what they do. And again, what's the point of that? It really translates into the effectiveness of your public safety and keeping your communities safe and protecting people and doing the mission well. So that's what all those things mean to me. And I'm just really grateful to our employees. They do a fantastic job. They're not just our employees, they're our team. So they do really well. Another really important thing that I want to bring to you in this update, and I want to introduce Sergeant Dawson.
Chief Mazin, real quick. I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so real
I
quick,
apologize.
since we're talking about forensics, I get to see these folks frequently because their office is on the same floor as my office. And then they have a facility down in the basement of this building that will someday be a sally port for UPD. But they're using that now for their work. And I just want to invite board members. Our city council has arranged on Monday night, our council meeting this coming Monday at 6:15 if you guys are interested, our work meeting is going to be a tour of the third floor and then that forensics facility down in the basement. We can't go down to that facility. It's been locked off for obvious evidentiary reasons. So even my key won't work down there. But we're going to do that tour if anybody's interested in that. I know that we had tried to set those things up, but I just let everybody know that our city council will be doing that, and you're invited to come if you want. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor. So as you know, a big push and something of great importance to all of us is our recruitment right now and where that's going. And there's been substantial effort made to work on that, including the really important support that we got from all of you with the hiring incentive and putting that into motion. And so right at the eye of the hurricane is Sergeant Dawson. She's our HR sergeant. And if you look in her office, you will see boxes and stacks of files and paperwork everywhere. And she is working furiously at addressing this issue, and we are getting results. And I want her to kind of just update you and share with you some of what's happening on that front. Is it fixed? Great.
Is it working? Yes? No? Good? No?
Sounds like it might be.
Just share these real quick with you guys. So just kind of to show where we're at with vacancies right now, we have 26 vacancies. One of those is 26 officer vacancies, 1 chief vacancy, which obviously we'll be filling. So then that will slow down. But we are getting a ton of applications. I'll try to show you the other one.
Board members, it's on the board behind you on the screens if you want to see it when the chart comes up.
Oh, yeah. So this is just our current dates. I just onboarded 6 people last Thursday. One of them was a rehire from the county. So he just went straight out onto the road. The rest are in pre-service. Most of them are laterals. So they'll just be out on the road in about 5 weeks. One of them is newly certified. So he will be out in about 12 weeks. And then there's 2 others that just graduated the academy that are also in pre-service. I currently have 38 people in the entry-level process. I'm getting multiple applications every day, so I expect that to increase. I currently have 16 registered for PT in October. Their target date is dependent on post. They have academies in January, February, and March, and some of them are certified, so their dates would be potentially the December hire date, just getting them through the process. I have 17 in backgrounds. Again, their dates are potentially January, February, except for the ones that are certified would be in December. And I have 5 entry level going to final interviews next week. They will be starting in either October 17th for the 2 that need to go to the academy or November 1st for the 3 that are certified. None of them have experience, so they would have the 12-week FTO time. And then I have 15 laterals currently in the process. I actually just got another application late last night, so that's not included in here. So it's actually 16. So we'll have 4 lateral candidates going to initial interview. That's in the 1st of October. And I have 10 laterals in background currently, looking at a November 1st and December 19th start date, depending on where they're at in the process. And then I have 2 lateral candidates going to final interview next week as well, and they'll start on November 1st. We've got another rehire already set to start in November 1st, Jason Adamson. And we have 3 currently in the academy. And 2 entry level that are already hired that will be starting the academy in October. Any questions about that?
Great news.
Okay.
Thanks, Sergeant Dawson. So as you can see, our HR, Chief Olson, Sergeant Dawson, very, very busy. We're dealing with the hiring every single week. So from my perspective, it's going well. And I feel like we're fortunate, that is a challenge for all the departments, not just in this county and state, but across the nation. And I feel very fortunate that we're doing well. And again, our best people to recruit, our best advertisement is them. And I hear that in these interviews. you know, why do you want to work here, or what made you come here? And it's because they're talking to our folks saying, come work, you know, come try this out. This is a good place to be. So we'll continue on that trajectory, and I'm really optimistic. I think this constant manning and I want to again thank our people for stepping up and doing extra on this constant manning. But I think that is not probably going to last as long as maybe some of us thought initially, and we can cut that back or eliminate it sooner than anticipated. So that's a good thing. Is there any questions for me?
One is, will that be enough officers in the system? Will that be enough officers to reach the goal for full staffing that we was looking at?
How many total do we have in the pipeline from cradle to grave right now? How many do we have?
Anticipation, because we have really good candidates in the pipeline right now, is I think we'll be fully staffed by the end of January. That's my goal. That's what I'm working towards, and we're getting it all the time. And that's my plan. I'm trying to expedite as much as I can, but that's my plan.
Does that answer your question? Yeah, and again, some of that's also affected by what is our attrition rate. And again, as Mark or Chief Olson has told you, our natural attrition rate between 2 and 4 month retirements, because we are a senior department and we have a lot of people eligible, that factors into it. But again, we're moving very quickly, and I'm very optimistic.
Chief, I just,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I just don't want to gloss over this because I think it's a huge deal. You know, Chief Hoyle sent me an email last week with the openings for October, which caused me great concern. We met last night to go over that because I just concerned about this ongoing need to fill these overtime slots and the effect that has on morale and, you know, long term. And we ended by saying he had people step up and fill those slots. We're all filled through October. That's kind of a short-term fix. But to get this news that the board had recognized this as a big issue in August and September, coming out of the transition in July, we didn't know how many were going to go to the county. That dragged on probably a little bit longer than it should have, in my opinion. And our emphasis that we acknowledge this is a big problem, that's something we got to address. And to have this many people apply, I think says a lot about UPD, but also about our staff of recognizing this as being the major issue. And hopefully we're communicating that to the rank and file, that we acknowledge that this is a big issue that needs to be addressed, and that there's, you know, really optimistic by the end of January that we might be, you know, knock on wood, close to full staffing, I think is a huge deal. So thanks to everybody involved, to include our own board, for recognizing this as being a big issue and getting on top of it.
Agreed. Thank you.
I just have a question. Did we have that incentive just for 30 days? If so, can we push it more than 30 days?
Yeah, so it was for 30 days, September 1st to September 30th. I wanted to do that because I wanted to have a defined period to measure it, but we're not constrained to anything. We can extend that, we can shorten that. Sergeant Dawson just mentioned that Chief Olson would like to extend that. But as we gather more data so we can make decisions based on facts, we would be happy to bring that to you. And if the board wants to extend that, we can certainly do that. In some cases, you know, we've had, what was it, 7 or 9 applications in September? 8. So some have known about the incentive, some have not. But I will tell you that I've had discussions with people at all levels in other organizations, and they are very aware that there is this incentive, and I believe it's going to attract more people. It's being discussed out there. So 5,000 is, you know, really generous. It's not huge, but people are really taking a hard look at it. So, it's going well. So we appreciate your support.
Thank you. I definitely think it's worth it for us to have that conversation about extending it
I agree.
future meeting.
And, Mr. Chair, that's all I have for my update.
All right, moving to item 4, which is recognition of Chief Randy Thomas for his service to the UPD as the Midvale and White City Precinct Chief. He wasn't here at the beginning of this meeting, so I thought he was just going to be online this whole time and hide. So I'm glad he's at least here.
So I agree, Mayor. I was pretty positive he had ditched us when I noticed he wasn't here either. I was like, he finally did it. He finally got even and escaped. But we had a process, as you know, to replace Chief Thomas. I've known Chief Thomas for pretty much the majority of his career, my career, and we've worked very closely together. I have the utmost respect and love for the guy, and I'm very happy for him to retire, but I'm brokenhearted to see him go. It's going to be a big loss to our department, and but I know he'll be out there and he'll continue to support us, and excited for the future, and excited for him to go and earn some well-deserved rest and peace. So I don't know what else to say, except this is a tough one to lose, but excellent person, and his service and support of this department and your communities has been outstanding and impeccable. Thanks, Randy. Hold on, speech.
I think, I think a number of us would like to say something to Chief
Thank you.
Thomas.
Well, I'm glad Mayor Silvestrini just mentioned he'd also like to say something. I'll just kick it off by saying, Chief, I've kissed your ass enough this week. On Tuesday, we had a surprise retirement party for him because he was very adamant that he didn't want anything and that if we did something, he would not show up. So somehow we kept it a surprise. So I made my comments there and in our city council meeting on Tuesday, but you know the respect I've got for you and just appreciate everything you've done.
So Chief, I haven't, other than through the organization, I haven't worked with you, that close, but what I have observed, from the beginning of my time in this organization and becoming mayor is that you've been a steady hand for Mill Creek Precinct or Midvale Precinct, and for this organization, you've been a champion for this organization, and I really appreciate that through good times and bad that we've had. I think the sun is rising on this organization, and I appreciate you staying through that and to transition this department there. But you're an awesome contributor to this department. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, sir. I'm going to say, just thank you to all of you, and the support you've had as a board through what we've gone through, like Mayor Silvestrini said, has been incredible. It's been rough. It's not over, but it is over. We're riding the wave out, and it's looking really good. I honestly would not have retired if the train wasn't on the tracks, and that was something Maz and I talked about probably over a year ago, and I feel really good about where we're at. It's really, even with the manpower issues and challenges we have right now, I feel good about where we're going with that, especially when we hear, laterals are kind of that short-term fix, but we got to get new blood into the system, and we're getting that now. So the men and women and commanders, awesome forensics team, everyone on UPD, I'm just so proud of them. Best agency by far in this entire state, if not the Western United States, and it's because of the model. So that's all I have. I do appreciate, even though you got me, Mayor. Love you all, and I will be around. So I might be in uniform or like a costume of some type at the Halloween party. Maybe.
Impersonating an officer again.
Maybe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. All right, item 5, appointment of April Morse as the Midvale and White City Precinct Chief. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. So obviously the next step on this is the appointment and ratification by the board of Chief Morse as the new Midvale chief. And I don't want to speak too much to this because I'd rather, maybe with your kind permission, Mayor, allow you to do that. And Councilman Cardenas, because this obviously directly impacts all of you, but we had a process. We had 3 excellent candidates put in. I was very supportive and have worked with all 3. And that process took place. And Chief Morse was ultimately selected for the job. I've worked with Chief Morse for a long, long time and have tremendous confidence in her. And I really saw that come out again when her and I were working together during this very challenging reorganization that we went through for the last couple of years. And she played an important role in that, as she was the acting commander of special operations while Chief Dial was filling in to run the department. So she did an outstanding job there, and I have absolutely no concerns whatsoever with her continuing on with her contributions. So we've come a long way from working in the canyon, chasing those kids with beer, right? Yeah, geez, that was a long time ago. I had a mullet back then. It's gone now. Thanks for bringing that up.
So did I.
Yes. Yeah, those were the days. Anyway, I'm excited to work with you, April, and looking forward to the contributions. And I'm just going to say, because you know, you do have some big shoes to fill, and I think you're capable of doing that. I really do, and bringing your own special, touch and perspective, and building on what we have in Midvale right now, and adding to that. So you've got a great legacy, and I know you can call that guy anytime, but put your own spin on it too, because you're very capable. Mayor, I don't know if you wanted to add to that.
Sure. We had 3 really qualified candidates for this position. I don't think it was not an easy decision, but April, through her the preparedness that you came with to that interview, of seeing your resume over 27 years, if I remember correctly. I feel like holding almost every single position within this department is the way it feels, as going through um, through your resume. We are just incredibly impressed with you. It's been great to be able to work with you, at least in some capacity up to this point. Really excited for what you'll bring to Midvale City, to White City, to our precinct as a whole. We were just really impressed and just excited to work with you. Bill, I'll let you.
Yeah, knowing that we were going to have to find some way to replace Chief Thomas, Mayor Flint and I were a little bit worried and concerned, but we're really impressed to see the level of quality and it was 3 candidates, but high level of quality. But very excited that we chose you, and yeah, excited to get to see what you're able to bring to the precinct.
Don't go anywhere. We're not done. Important part has to happen here. So with that, if there's no other questions for myself or Chief Morse, I would obviously turn that over to the board to do your legal procedure.
I would entertain a motion to appoint April Morse as the Midvale White City Precinct Chief.
I'll second that.
I guess I didn't technically make the motion. If
Sorry.
you want to make the motion.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion that we appoint Chief Morse as the Midvale Precinct Chief.
I'd be happy to second that.
Perfect. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Congratulations, Chief.
Where are you going? He had to give a speech. You got to say something. Come on, you better get used. That's the new job. Better get used to it.
I just want to say thank you very much for this opportunity. Big shoes to fill, I recognize that, but game on.
Love it. Thank you. All right, we'll move to item 6, which is the Finance Committee meeting update. Councilmember Keegley.
Okay, so it's in our packet. Pretty much what we did in the financial committee is looked at the amendments for the budget and resolving, getting the money for this incentive. It is in our agenda, so I won't take any more. But I did notice there was a minor change, and Debbie will mention that to us in her presentation.
Thank you. Unless there's any questions. Seeing none, we'll move to item 7, acceptance of donations. Chief Matt.
Test.
Yeah, we'll use that in a minute, but I'll just real quick on our donation front, from OUR, 42,327. Donation for some, higher end computers that we needed for their computing power for our, violent crimes unit. So we're very appreciative of that donation of 42,327. Want to submit that to you for approval.
Okay, unless there's any questions, I would entertain a motion.
This is Carolyn Kegley. I will make a motion to accept this very generous donation.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Rob Daly.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Thank you. Move to item 8, fiscal year 2024 quarterly budget amendments. And we're going to hear from Chief Mazarin and Debbie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just turn that over to Debbie.
Want me to speak from here, or would you rather I go up there?
You're fine from there.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. I have added 2 more amendments to the presentation that was made at the Finance Committee meeting last week. The first one is the one that Maz just mentioned. It's the donation from the Operations Underground Railroad Organization, and that's to purchase 9 laptops for the Violent Crime Unit. I've also carried over from last year's budget $41,487 in CARE Act funds in Kearns. So those were the 2 changes that were made to the amendment. The other amendments that were presented at the Finance Committee meeting for the first quarter of fiscal year 24-25 are as follows. We received 2 drones valued at $3,000, which were presented to the board in August. We are underfilling a full-time forensics position to purchase a firearms tool marks microscope for $93,404, and we're adding $6,000 for a part-timer to transition to that full-time position next year, and that's the microscope that Heidi was just talking about earlier. The precincts and the members will be transferring their share of the $100,000 to the recruitment account in the general fund, which will be used as the hiring incentive for the lateral officers, which Lindy just addressed earlier. The funds will come from the unspent benefits of the underfilled positions in each member's budgets. The breakout for each member is as follows and is recorded in each of their budget amendments. For Kearns, it's $15,761. For Magna, it's $14,080. For Mill Creek, it's $29,569. For White City, it's $1,643. For Copperton, it's $323. For Holiday, it's $11,639. For Midvale, it's $24,343. For Immigration, it's $656, and for Brighton, it's $1,985. So those are each member's contributions toward that $100,000. Additional amendments that needed to be made to the following precincts include in Kearns, a $25 donation that was presented to the board at the August 15th board meeting, and we are adding $32,200 to the budget for beer tax revenue and expenses. In Mill Creek, we're adding 61,160 to the budget for beer tax revenue and expenses. And in Holiday, Holiday is using $20,000 of its fund balance to cover the cost of replacing the north door for added security. In Brighton, we're adding 2,951 to the budget for beer tax revenue. Those are revenues that have been received and will be used for beer tax expenses. So with that, the fiscal impact by fund is the general fund has a $244,731 impact. Kearns is $89,476. Magna is $1,480. Mill Creek is $90,729. White City is $1,643. Copperton is $323. Holiday is $31,639. Midvale is $24,343. Immigration is $656. Brighton is $4,936. So with that, you have a total fiscal impact of $502,557. That completes the budget amendments for the first quarter.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. I'd entertain a motion to open up public comment on this item.
So moved.
Thank you. Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll move into public hearing. Do we have any public comment on this item? Seeing none in the room, any online? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Take that as a motion and a second. Perfect. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's public hearing is closed. Move to the board discussion and motion on resolution 240902. Any further discussion, questions for Debbie? Seeing none, entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve resolutions 24-09-02, approval of the FY 24-25 quarterly budget amendments.
Thank you.
Second that, and thanking all the precincts for doing this.
Thank you. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect. That passes. I'll move on to item 9, which is upcoming meetings. We've got the UPD promotion swearing in ceremony on Monday, September 30th at 10 a.m. here at Mill Creek City Hall on the 6th floor. And then our next board meeting is Thursday, October 17th at 9 a.m. here at City Hall. Anything else that should be on that list? Okay. Item 10, approval of the July 18th, 2024 and August 15th, 2024 UPD meeting minutes. Unless there's any changes to those, I would entertain a motion.
Jeff Silverstein, I'll move to approve both sets of minutes.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. We do have a closed session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property. I would entertain a motion to enter into the closed session.
Mr. Chair, could I also ask that the board add a closed session to discuss threatened or pending litigation? The purpose of that is to just brief the board on a case that will be going to trial next week.
Thank you. So we do have a closed session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property and pending litigation. There, motion to enter into a closed session for that reason.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Harmony, when you're ready, if you call roll, please.
Director Brems,
Present?
Director Cardenas.
Here.
Director Daly.
Yes.
Director Keegley.
Yes.
Director Olson.
Yes.
Director Peterson. Director Prokopis. Director Silvestrini.
Yes.
Director Stevenson.
Yes. Okay, that passes. We'll move in.
Did you call Director Olson? I didn't hear that.
Yes, I did, and he's online.
I heard a yes.
And my present is a yes.
I responded.
Thank you. All right, we'll move into a closed session.